Hi, what up, YouTube? This is No Cap, No Filter. I'm your host, Marley G, back at y'all on an episode of Run It With You. And today we're going to have to run it about male friends within a relationship. If you're a guy out there and you're talking to a female and y'all getting serious, before y'all take it a step further and really just make things official and be in a full-blown relationship, I would advise you to ask her, do she got any male friends that she just real close to? And if she do, I would advise you to let her know that you would like her to, cut them off. Now, she ain't gotta just cut them off to the point where she just not cordial with them. She can't never speak to them. You can't control nobody. People going to speak to who they speak to. People going to have conversations, but you got to have boundaries. You got to set boundaries. Like if she goes to school or if she goes to work, of course she can have male friends as far as talking about anything work related, talking about anything dealing with sports, anything dealing with music, fashion, things of that nature, just regular surface level conversations. But when they get into conversations dealing with you and her, talking y'all business, when they get into conversations about them stepping outside of work, having a bite to eat, having lunch, having a drink, going meet her for happy hour, uh, bringing her lunch, all that, you got to have boundaries. And especially any conversations talking about sex, anything sexual related, she gonna have to nip that in the bud. But I would suggest that before y'all take anything further within a relationship, if things starting out, good and y'all in the beginning stages, before y'all go to that next step and make it official, I would suggest she cut off any of her male friends, especially the ones that she know for a fact, is trying to get at her. Now, the ones that she don't know, they gonna be trying to get at her as well. Because we men, we know how men think. They'll wait longer than others sometimes to pounce for that right moment, for a shoulder to cry on is the dick to ride on. You know what I'm saying? So now it's gonna be some exceptions, like certain family friends of the family that she been knowing since she was a kid. They probably gonna be around regardless. Like, she probably could see them at the family functions or maybe a cookout or, just in her social circle some way, somehow. That's cool. But as far as them two hanging out alone, solo, I would cut that off. I wouldn't be comfortable with that. And it's not about being insecure. It's about being, I ain't gonna say protective, but it's about being cautious. It's about being safe. It's almost like if you have a certain item, you ain't gonna just, be just, what's the word I'm looking for? You're gonna have a certain responsibility with that item. Like even a car, you ain't gonna have your car out in a certain neighborhood with your car unlocked. You ain't gonna have your family jewels just out in the open at your house. You're gonna have it tucked away in a safe spot. Is that being insecure if you want your family jewels messed with? Is that being insecure if you want your doors locked in a certain neighborhood? No, it's being cautious and it's being safe. So it's the same way with a man with his girl. A man with his girl ain't gonna want no outside forces, tampering with their relationship. Even if it's just surface level conversation talk about their relationship, you don't even want her talking certain stuff about your relationship with her female counterparts, let alone any man. Because any man a lot of times gonna try to use that in his advantage to work his way in. So I think it's definitely some exceptions to the rule. Maybe if a dude is gay, like if you know for a fact he's gay, he don't even look at women like that. Certain friends of the family, but even at that moment, cut that off, because a friend of the family could have been a guy that she has very well probably experimented or done something with just to see if they could have a connection on that level. But if they've done something prior in the past, I wouldn't even want them messing around like that, even if it was 15 years ago. I wouldn't care, me personally. And I know a lot of dudes who've been friends with a woman for long time, but eventually they did something, because there's always that curiosity to like, damn, we very close as friends and it never been nothing between us. But what if, and I know some people who had a relationship with a friend for over 10 years. They finally did something, and that's when the relationship went bad. Because anytime that they mess with someone, that person have suspicions. Anytime this one mess with someone, that person that they mess with has suspicion, and it just caused a lot of drama. It just caused a lot of confusion. It's just caused a lot of unnecessary chaos. So I do believe in not just even dropping your male friends. You probably got to drop some of your female friends too, because at that moment you're gonna be number one priority. Now, of course, you will want your girl to have her outside life, her outside hobbies, her friends that she could vent to, but it's only at a certain extent you will want that too. Like everybody don't need to know everything that's going on in our house and home. But like I say, it's a few exceptions, but for the most part, the only one I could really see is if they gay, or if they just super, kind of, unattractive. It's certain men that you wouldn't really worry about, and there's certain men you'll kind of keep your eye on, because as a man you could kind of feel like, oh, okay, I can see he be doing this thing out here, or oh, okay, I ain't really got nothing to worry about with him. Now sometimes that ain't always the case. You got to worry about the one that you wouldn't think you got to worry about, because all it takes is one drunk night. All it takes is one drunk night for his excuse. But for the most part, some dudes you could just look at and be like, oh, okay, I ain't really got nothing to worry about, especially if they already in a relationship. Now, if they single, that's kind of like a red flag. But if they already in a relationship, especially if they married and been in a marriage for a long time, and you'd have been around this dude and all that, you kind of could see he definitely ain't her type, then you could make an exception for that. But even then, I would still rather them meet up when it's me and her and him and his wife. You feel me? So yeah, man, it'll be certain exceptions you can make when it comes to that situation, but you got to break it down. And I would go even as far as, if you make this claim and she is okay with it, and she's telling you about all of the male friends that she got that she's willing to cut off, if it's a long list of male friends, that's a red flag in itself. Because like, damn, you got all these male friends you cool with. If you give me more than 5 friends, I'm gonna start thinking, once it get to 6, 7, you done did something at least 2, 3 of these dudes. You feel me? Because it's just proximity. That's just the way things is. Whatever we in proximity of is going to likely be some type of connection, some way, somehow. Whatever is in our social circle is going to be some type of connection, some way, somehow. It's a reason why in a lot of people's social circle, and that's a tongue twisting word. It's a reason why in a lot of social circles, when it's a lot of boys and a lot of girls, it's going to be crisscrossing going on. Like, this person mess with this person mess with that person. They're gonna move along, and that person gonna mess with this person when they used to be talking to their ex, and it's just gonna be a whole lot of stuff going on. And proximity is a whole lot of reason why a lot of people get cheated on. Like, how many times you didn't? Well, there was fake, but this is still based on reality. How many times you didn't watch Cheaters where it's always 2 roommates and one of the roommates got a girl, and the girl start cheating with the other roommate while the other dude at work? That's a lot. It happens a lot. And it's common because why? Proximity and social circle. When you're around somebody a lot and you in close quarters with this person a lot, sometimes a connection could build over time, whether y'all like it or not, whether it's forced or not. Sometimes shit happens. Sometimes things happen. And that's the same reason why you would want this to possibly happen with a boyfriend, because Y'all could be going through it. She could be confiding in him, and then he waiting on his right moment. All it takes is one time they going out the happy hour, one time they get drunk. She can't drive home. She gotta go to sleep by him. One thing can lead to another, and you want to just eliminate any possibility of that. But at the end of the day, if she a goer, she a goer. If she a cheater, she a cheater. You know, ain't nothing gonna stop her from cheating if she just built like that. And if she's not a cheater, ain't nothing gonna really get in the way of her cheating. But at the same time, you still want to minimize any type of risk. It's almost like, yeah, she could for sure, well, there's nothing certain, but you could have not a doubt in your mind that she's a cheater, but you still would want her not to go out to the club every weekend throughout a whole year. You feel me? Because it's going to minimize the chances of anything happening. Her running into a person that she finds attractive. Her running into an ex that she felt like that was the one that possibly got away. Her having a great night with her friends and her friends influence her to talk to this guy that she just met. Her being on a girls trip and she's on a girls trip and it's just so happened they at a bar and they hit a conversation is spoken with a guy and she kind of take interest in him for what he's saying and what he's probably telling her, and she get influenced by her friends. And that's another thing. You wouldn't want your girl with those type of friends anyway. Sometimes you'll never know, but at the end of the day, you got to have a good discernment on what type of friends your girl is around, you know. And that's another thing. Like when you comes to picking a girl, you can't just go off the girl. You got to go into her dating history. You got to go into what friends she around. You got to go into what type of environment she grew up in. Some dudes like to go off of whether she had a father in her life or not. Me personally, I think that matters, but it doesn't matter as much to me as it does to other dudes. My personal thing is who she be around. What does she's consuming? What is she watching? Is she watching Zeus a lot? Is she watching baddies a lot? Like why is you trying to consume this much toxic drama? I could deal with Basketball Wives. I could deal with Love and Hip Hop. I could deal with Love Island because at least those things have a plot. But when you watching Zeus and Baddies, this literally no plot. It's just girls in a confined area getting drunk, doing the most heinous things to each other and fighting each other. Why is you trying to consume that? So I think that's a character trait. If you this much of a good person, why is you consuming the most lowest vibrational things? And on top of that, her friends. Do her friends carry themselves well? Are her friends single? Are her friends married? What her friends doing? Do they like to do drugs? Do they like to smoke? Do they like to be party girls? Do they like to influence your girl making bad decisions and bad influences? Like if they were to go out, if you were to go out with your friends, if you were to go out with your girl and her friends, if they trying to influence her to drink, if they trying to influence her to smoke and all that, that's a red flag. Because if they can influence her to drink, influence her to smoke, what other bad decisions that they can influence her to do? And is your girl even weak-minded enough to allow it to happen? Especially in front of you. If she weak-minded enough to allow it to happen in front of you, what can she do alone without you around? So yeah, man, I always try to make a good discernment of who friends she's in a friend group with, her dating history, her male friends that she around, how many male friends she got. Ask her, did she ever do anything with her male friends, even if it was just a kiss? You gotta know these things because you don't want to come around these dudes and these dudes just thinking, oh, he don't even know, when you kind of got an idea, because your girl might not tell you the truth anyway, but you at least want to have an idea and a pulse on the situation. Dating history. What type of dudes you dating? You gotta see what type of discernment she got. If she been dating a bunch of bums, the way she making these decisions on the men she's messing with and allowing to sleep with her, That's a red flag on her and a character flaw on her. Now you got to be the knight in shining armor when she was just dating nothing but bums before you. I would rather her date only a few dudes and it was long-term relationships and it didn't work for, just certain reasons. Like some girls get to tell me, oh, I got 2 baby daddies, I got 3 baby daddies. Oh, this ain't weird because he wasn't shit. Oh, this ain't weird because he was broke. Like, damn, you having babies with all these dudes and you just shocked that he turned out to be an ain't shit dude? That's a character flaw. That's a character trait. Red flag. But I just want y'all to let me know, am I tripping? Like, is it being controlling? Is it being possessive? Is it being insecure if you state that you prefer her not to have any male friends? Remember, it's just a preference. But apparently men can't have preferences. Men can't have standards. When we do, it's insecure. It's a manipulating tactic. It's narcissist. It's all these things that they try to shame you for. But when men got a preference, is all that. When women got a preference, it's just her standards. But let me know down in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I'm open for any type of criticism. If you have any things that you would like for me to react to, any videos that you would like for me to react to, send it to the email, man. NoCapNoFilter7 at gmail.com. I'm trying to get more consistent with this. I told myself I'm gonna try to do more videos for y'all each and every day, or at least every other day at the very least. So send anything y'all want me to react to, or any type of topics that y'all would like for me to cover that I could just talk about. If you like the show, go ahead on and like, and go ahead on and subscribe, and try to hit that new hype button feature they got coming out. I think it helps with the algorithm. But I'm out. Till next time.